The EU General Data Protection Regulation is designed to protect the data of natural persons, that is, people like you and I. The aim is for each person to be able to determine for themselves the personal information about them that can be collected, stored, and processed, as well as who does it and when. We're talking here about the protection of personal data. This distinguishes data protection from data security or information security. Information security protects all types of information against loss, theft, sabotage, and abuse, regardless of whether this information is a technical drawing for a product or a patient's medical report. In layman's terms, EU data protection is only interested in data that concerns people. The technical drawing is irrelevant as far as data protection legislation is concerned. But the medical report is very worthy of protection, as the disclosure of a sensitive diagnosis could cause the patient considerable social disadvantage. So, data protection and information security overlap at the point where personal data comes into the picture. EU data protection isn't only designed to provide appropriate protection for existing personal data, however, as it also lays down strict rules as to whether this kind of data can be collected at all and to what extent. After all, the most secure data is data that has never been collected or stored in the first place. So, data protection safeguards your and my personal data. But what is personal data exactly? As far as the law is concerned, it's all information that can be used to identify a person, either directly or indirectly. Barack Obama, for example, can be directly identified via his name. The name determines the person. But Barack Obama can also be indirectly identified via the wording, the first black president of the United States. So, personal data includes, for example, a person's name, address, date of birth, profession, bank details, and salary. There is also personal data that, if disclosed, could cause someone considerable social disadvantage. For example, the health report mentioned earlier. But it also includes a person's political, religious, or sexual orientation. There are many countries in which people are prosecuted for voting the wrong party, for belonging to the wrong religion, or for loving the wrong gender. Or they simply belong to the wrong ethnic group. Even being a member of a trade union can make it hard to find a job in some countries. All these examples belong to the special categories of personal data, a rather dry legal term for particularly sensitive personal information. Genetic and biometric data such as your DNA and fingerprint also belong to these special categories, of course. So, data protection legislation regulates when and under which conditions personal data can be collected, what it can be used for, and the rights of the person to whom the data belongs. And that's a good thing.